Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanley's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. November.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. My God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Bronson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Well, that was a series that I did not have going the way that it went. And I'm not quite sure Yankees fans saw it going that way either. To be honest, I don't even know if Toronto Blue Jays fans, as cocky as they've been, saw it either. I don't hear any Canadians right now. I don't hear any northern rednecks, any, what do they call them, snowbacks. I'm sure they hear the stomps in the Bronx. I'm sure they hear some footsteps 2 feet away. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. It was something I hesitate to say I'm back in. But the Yankees are playing their best ball of the season right now. You know, you take 2 out of 3 against Toronto to come within 2 games. You're 4-2 on this, everyone's calling the gauntlet stretch. But you're 18-7 in your last 25 ball games. That's a .720 win percentage for about a month's worth of baseball. So you're beating everybody that's just in front of you, right? At first, those first couple of series, it's nice, but it's the Cardinals, it's the Nationals, it's the Twins. But now you're doing it against teams that you're supposed to do it against too. So we're sitting here, and the Yankees on pace for maybe 91 wins, and again, just 2 games back in the loss column of Toronto. Have themselves a chance here to really, really, really get their fan base fully back in, if not already. And by no means am I saying the Yankees are the favorites to win it all and will be the favorites to win it all when we get into the postseason in a couple of weeks. But crazy, it's already September. But we're getting to that point in the season where the regular season's about to wrap up, and I do think it is important to maybe zoom out a little bit, and just realize the Yankees are a really good team. And I feel like a lot of our fan base is very poor, does a very bad job. A lot of the Yankee fan base is very bad at zooming out. We tend to think the issues that we have are the biggest issues in the world, and that other teams don't have similar issues and just as many issues because we're so hyper-focused on our team because we watch them every day. So, of course, we're going to feel that way. Only 1 out of 30 teams so far this season. Not so far. Only 1 out of the 30 teams mathematically has a chance to win 100 games. That's the Brewers. Everybody else has more than 62 losses. So nobody's dominating in baseball at all. The American League is, as I've been saying, wide open. There are 0 teams in the American League on pace for more than 93 wins. Every single Yankees fan, including myself, wants to talk about our issues. What about this bullpen? This manager? What about the fielding, defense, Anthony Volpe? What about Aaron Judge's health? All very valid questions. Again, we forget that a lot of other teams have the same issues. Fundamentals around baseball are terrible, by the way. It's not just a Yankee thing. They're all complaining about something. Detroit Tigers fans, they're complaining about things too. Their bullpen being last in strikeouts per 9. You think that's going to fare well in October? That's what they're saying. You think Milwaukee Brewers fans are all happy even when they lose? No, when they lose, I'm sure their fan base is riding the narrative that they're 20th in home runs. You know, like there are things that other fan bases are going to pick at. We're all complaining about something. And we always sit here and we're talking about entering this gauntlet. We said, hell, the Yankees can't beat good teams. The Yankees only score versus bad pitching. And all of a sudden we look up, they beat up on Houston Astro pitching. They took 2 out of 3 over there. And they just took 2 more against Toronto, winning some tight games behind their pitching. Did it in a different way. We like to see them win behind their pitching because their offense has been bailing them out all year. But they won some tight games with their pitching. The lineup said, okay, we don't have enough to get more than 3 or 4 runs a game this series. We're going to have to rely on good starting pitching and bullpen. And that's what the Yankees did. So we can keep saying they have no shot. They're done. I'm out, including myself again. But the fact of the matter is, record-wise and on paper, they are one of the best teams that are going to be playing playoff baseball this year. And the only team who can beat the Yankees, in my opinion, are themselves with the mistakes they make in these meltdowns that they have, right? We're going to talk more about that too later. So all I am trying to say here is this 6-game stretch that they're on right now and 25-game stretch should at least be enough to keep you watching and intrigued. You know, I don't think anybody should be completely out at this point because the Yankees and what they've done recently have earned your view. You know, so we did miss the Houston Astros series here on the podcast. So I wasn't able to get to it. I was just busy with work. I will tip my caps to Fried, Grisham, and Cruz from that series. Those are the 3 best Yankees of that series. But regarding this Toronto Blue Jays series where the Yankees in the Bronx took 2 out of 3, took the first game. Well, no, they lost the first game and they took the latter 2. Let's talk about it. On Friday, the Yankees lost 7-1. This was just the most disappointing way to begin a series like this. They lose 7-1. You had Cam Schlittler against Gausman, and the game was over in the top of the first inning. Cam Schlittler was not good. Inning and 2/3, 4 runs, 5 hits, a couple of walks, and a hit batter. Definitely some bullshit soft contact in there that you can't really do anything about. But Toronto was really doing a nice job spoiling pitches off of him. Schlittler couldn't finish off any counts. A lot of foul balls. Just, he wasn't good. Ryan Yarbrough comes in the second inning, does a nice job for 5 1/3 in relief. Leiter and Doval pitch after him. They're both pretty bad. In the lineup outside of Giancarlo Stanton, who was 2 for 4 with a solo bomb, went to sleep. So it was a 7-1 loss on Friday. And that's really the only takeaway from that game. Saturday, the Yankees bounced back strong. It's a 3-1 win. You had the righty Luis Seal going up against the righty Chris Bassett. Yankee bats 3 runs on 5 hits, 5 walks, 8 strikeouts. They were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position, but they got 2 runs on Bassett in 5 innings. Those 2 runs came in the second inning. The Martian with an RBI single, Wells with a sac fly, Nice play by the right fielder there to prevent the double. But it puts the Yanks up 2-0. Both runs end up scoring because in the beginning of the inning, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. makes an E3. So that was nice to see. They get one more run on the Toronto bullpen in 3 innings. Bottom 6 after you had that hour and 40-something minute rain delay. Yanks go back out there and they tack on a run. It's an Austin Wells sac fly, his second of the game. It's a fly ball to dead center field, left on left, gets good wood on the ball. Doesn't travel enough to leave the park, but it's enough for a sac. Yanks go up 3-1. So Wells is 0 for 1, couple of sac flies, 2 RBIs. Volpe's 1 for 4 with a double. Judge goes 1 for 4 with a stolen base. Jazz goes 1 for 4. He was caught stealing. On the mound in this game, I was going to tip my cap to him, but I decided to give it to somebody else in this series. Luis Seal, 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 4 walks, 1 strikeout, no home runs allowed, 90 pitches. So Luis Seal continues to, at the end of the day, prevent runs, right? He's got a 3.31 ERA in 7 starts. He's now gone 6 starts in a row with 5+ innings and 2 runs or less. That's nice. I'm just a little bit concerned about Luis Seal right now because the velocity and the swing and miss is still very poor. And that's along with no control still, right? So there's all this talk about him throwing softer. You know, he's 92 to 95 a lot. He's throwing softer for more command, but he's still just as wild. Like, he's still throwing wild pitches. He's still walking batters, throwing a lot of balls. The command's still not great. If that's true and Luis Seal is fully healthy and he's purposely throwing softer, like, again, I think we mentioned it last time we talked about Heel, the 98-mile-an-hour fastball got you here. It's why you won Rookie of the Year. You know, and in this game, to see him walk 4 batters and strike out just 1 batter in 6 innings, and you look at his season numbers, he's only got 30 strikeouts, 23 walks, and 35 and a third innings. So he's got a 19.5 K rate. That's low. A 23% whiff rate. That's very low. And a 15% walk rate, which is very high. So it's that, right? It's the combination of walking the ballpark and not getting the swing and miss. That to me is an untenable recipe. That makes me scared for the postseason. That's what I worry about with Luis Seal. So the results are there now, and everybody's probably going to pile on me because I'm saying this. But I am a little bit concerned just because the whiffs aren't there and the walks are. Top 4, again, the only run that he did allow, he surrenders back-to-back walks to begin the inning. Bichette, leadoff walk, he couldn't locate the changeup. And then Varsho draws a walk. He just missed the zone with everything he threw. And then it was Isaiah Kiner-Falefa with an RBI fielder's choice. Yanks try to go for the double play. Jazz can't get the ball out of his glove in time. Runner safe at first, run scores. It's 2-1 Yankees. Top 6, Bellinger saves Luis Seal from allowing his second run with a really nice throw from right field. But he finishes his day right before the rain delay there, 6 innings, 1 run. The bullpen, 3 innings. Weaver, 2/3 of an inning, no runs, 1 hit, gets the hold. Top of the 7th inning, he comes in, 96 down the plate to Kiner-Falefa, leadoff double. Then he induces 2 flyouts, and then after that he's pulled for Fernando Cruz so he could face the righty George Springer. It was a quick hook, quicker hook than we usually see on Luke Weaver. I think part of that's because he's been struggling lately. He struggles against the Blue Jays, but I didn't really have any true issue with the decision to pull him because Fernando Cruz has been really good, and he comes in and he finishes his day, an inning, no runs, 1 hit, a walk, a strikeout, gets the hold. Cruz does. Yeah, comes in the 7th. He walks Springer, ends up walking Springer on 3 straight forkballs out of the zone, so he's got first and second 2 outs. But then he gets the lefty Barger to ground out to end the inning. It's a forkball below the zone that he just hits it right into the dirt. And then top 8, he comes back out there, Cruz. You know, he gives up a leadoff base hit to Vlad Jr. It's a ground ball up the middle. Really good at bat. Just got beat there at the end. Bichette He gets him to strike out swinging. He goes fastball up and out to a forkball low and in. So a nice job sequencing there. And then he gets Varsho to fly out. And that's when he's pulled for David Bednar, who finishes the game off with 3 strikeouts in a third of an inning in the third. No runs, no base runners. Gets the save. So that was Saturday's win. And then you get to today, Sunday, a tight 4-3 victory. The lefty freed against the righty veteran Max Scherzer. Yankees get 4 runs in total, 3 hits, 2 extra base hits, 5 walks. Scherzer they got 4 runs and 4 1/3 on him, so very good job. Not the same pitcher. I thought he was still Scherzer, but I was not impressed with his stuff today. The stuff looked pretty flat. There was not a lot of break. The slider looked okay, but the Yankees were on everything else. I mean, everything was a hard hit ball. Ton of hard contact, ton of hard foul balls. Rice, Stanton just drilling the ball on them. And right away, Rice. At the bottom of the first inning, Ben Rice, 3-run shot to right field off of a full count. An elite at-bat, by the way, just spitting on some really close pitches. And then bottom 3, after the Yankee pitching and defense blew the lead, Bellinger with the big RBI double off the right field wall to break the tie puts the Yanks up 4-3. So they don't score on the Toronto bullpen in the remaining 3 2/3. But Bellinger was enough to give them the win there. He goes 2 for 4, RBI, a double. Judge goes 0 for 1, 3 walks and a stolen base. Also made a fantastic play in right field. Rice goes 1 for 4 with that home run, 3 RBIs. Jazz goes 0 for 2, but he walked and also stole a base. He could not make a play he probably should have made in the 9th inning there. Or late in the game. I think it was when Williams came in, maybe. The bullpen, though, 2 innings, no runs. Devin Williams, low-lev Dev, came in high lev, did a great job in the 8th. Now, I think Luke Weaver was unavailable. If he was, maybe they didn't want him to get that righty lane. There was a bunch of righties in that inning there for Williams to face. Although Williams with that screwball pitch, I don't know, kind of want that. He's been struggling with his location. So, I don't know. I don't know what the reason was. I guess just a lot of guys weren't available. He was obviously saving David Bednar for the 9th, who did a great job. Wells helped him out with a tremendous throw to second base to get the runner. And that was your bullpen. So, I think I want to start. We'll just continue here and tip my cap that I'm not wearing to David Bednar. Because he continues to get the job done for the Yankees. Has he had some hiccups? Couple. But the guy has been getting worked like a friggin' horse since the Yankees acquired him. He's averaging 1.19 innings per game. With Pittsburgh, obviously those games didn't matter, averaging 0.1 inning or 0.91 innings. But he's a big dude. He can handle it. But it would be nice to spare him sometimes, and the amount of up downs that he has to, deal with. Let me come up and get the final out or 2 in the 8th, and then let me get 3 more outs in the 9th. It's tough, so it would help if some other guys got going in this pen. Like if the back of the bullpen had another guy like Camilo Doval, who's got all the talent in the world. That would be huge if he got his shit together. That's the key to the bullpen, in my opinion, because he's the only guy who's not been performing great that has the ability to perform great. I think Camilo Doval getting right or continuing to flunk will depict the entire Yankees postseason. Call that a hot take, but I think he's the key to the pen. He was acquired to be this legit high leverage arm. This guy who throws 100-mile-an-hour cutters, got a good sinker, tough arm angle, tough to read pitches out of his hand, gets ground balls, gets some swing and miss, but he's been everything but good for the Yankees so far. He's been a mess. If he can get right, it's going to help guys like Bednar because he doesn't have to go out there and, again, log a bunch of innings when he should be just getting the 9th. On Saturday, he has to come out there for a 4-out save, top of the 8th inning. He gets Luke to strike out looking. It's a 1-2 count. He goes fastball, split. Top 9 comes back out, gets Connor Falefa to strike out looking, using his curveball to fastball combo. Gets Jimenez to pop up, and then he gets Kirk to strike out swinging on a fastball top of the zone. Today, another save. He's now 5 out of 8 in saves with the Yankees. Today he was fastball curve, didn't need the split. Top of the ninth, he comes in, faces the bottom of the Toronto order, gets Varsho to fly out, 96 top of the zone, gets Luke, or he doesn't get Luke. Luke singles off of him. It's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball above the zone. He goes up and gets it in a 2-2 count, base hit. But then he gets Straw to ground out to end the game as he pounds a curveball into the dirt. Again, going fastball curve the entire at-bat was Bednar. So just doing a really good job sequencing his pitches and knowing when to go to which pitch. And so overall with the Yankees, Bednar, a 2.70 ERA, 25 strikeouts, 16 2/3 innings. Tipping our cap to him for the third time this year. He's awesome, man. He's got the energy for it. I think Fernando Cruz gave him a nickname, El Oso. He's got the velo, man, on his fastball, and he's got great off speed with the curveball and the split. Big innings, man, and it's just nice to have a closer. You know, it's funny how things worked out. You know, Clay Holmes was their closer last year. You let him walk, and you go out and get Devin Williams, who is supposed to be the best National League closer there is. He comes here to the American League, cannot figure it out. Somehow you get to the deadline, and he's still your friggin' closer. And now you go out and you get Bednar. And his first outing with the Yankees in that Miami series, the first game back from the deadline, he was a nightmare. But he figures it out, and he's been pretty good for the Yankees since. So let's tip our cap to David Bednar. Obviously, he's important too for the postseason. Staying on the mound here and going back to who started in this final game of the set, Max Fried, I'm tipping my cap to him. 16 tips of the cap this year for Max Fried to lead the Yankees. He's figuring it out again, guys. His last 4 starts, 27 innings, just 18 hits, a 1.67 ERA. He came through big to secure a very massive series victory with a big-time start. 7 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, a walk, 4 strikeouts, no home runs allowed, throws 100 pitches, gets the win. Again, he did not have his good stuff. You know, he struggled. He had some issues with his off-speed early on. Top of the second inning, Yankees give him a 3-0 lead. He flushes it. Kirk, leadoff walk. IKF with an RBI single on a hanging sweeper. It's 3-1 now. Luke gets the fly ball sac fly on a misplaced curveball. It's 3-2. Top 3, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., RBI double off a hanging sweeper. It's 3-3 tie game. But he grinds through it, and he pitches 4 more innings after that, and he finds it. He finds it despite not having his best stuff. That's what an ace does. And as much crap as I've given Max Fried this year, he did what a lot of pitchers like about aces, right? You hear this all the time. A guy doesn't have his best stuff. Can he grind through it and still be quality? That's exactly what Max Fried was. So, good for him. You know, he was mixing in all of his fastballs. He backdoored his off-speed pitches to righties. When he can backdoor his off-speed like he can, it's tough to hit him because he gets count leverage immediately. He'll go first pitch curveball to a righty like that. That's why he's a reverse splits guy. And because of that, he gets a ton of soft contact off the bat. Which I guess isn't always a good thing with the Yankee infield being what it is this year. But that's kind of where I want to transition real briefly, because as these last couple of series have been good and encouraging, you're still seeing part of that sloppiness that's just in their DNA. It's ingrained in them, right? This is what makes me nervous about October still. And it's what we spoke about entering this 12-game gauntlet. How the Yankees need to play clean baseball. It's been my worry all year. Clean baseball, playing complete games. If you're going to lose, don't embarrass yourself. And you go all the way back because we didn't cover the Houston series. I do want to talk a little bit about it. You go back to Wednesday, the game they lost in that series, they blew a 3-run lead twice, right? They were up 3-zip, they were up 4-1, and they end up losing. That's called embarrassing yourself. That's called playing an incomplete ball game. Whether it's pitching meltdowns, right? Walks that lead to big hits, fielding meltdowns, errors and stupid decisions, throwing to the wrong bases, base running blunders, getting picked off, getting caught, managerial decisions. It happens too often versus good, sharp teams who are on their game, right? And you want to talk about poor decision making. The 6th inning on Wednesday, decision making right there during a 2-run game. I didn't really hear anybody else complain about this. I thought it was wild that the Yankees had the corners back with the guy on third base, and it's a 2-run game. They didn't have the corners in, so McMahon he fields a ground ball, and he only has one play. It's the first base. He has to let the run score. I feel personally, and this has been for years, that the Yankees way too often set up their infield very carefree or conservatively. And I just think that's a total lack of urgency. I never like giving up runs. It's in a tight game like that. Like, that was wild to me. I feel you play in. Decision making late in that same game, using Devin Williams in high leverage with the rested bullpen at the time. Why? That's urgency to me. Camilo Doval comes in after Williams. He balks. He throws a wild pitch. Where was Bednar? Where was Leiter? To me, that's urgency. Decision making with bench players starting every single day. And, there's only one guy everybody knows who I'm talking about here. This kid's getting 4 at-bats a night, and he continues to flop in these big spots with runners on base. Why is he still starting over Caballero? That's urgency to me. When we talk about the lack of urgency, it's all of that stuff, right? In the middle of an American League pennant race, the Yankees are worrying about ego and feelings and optics versus important wins. They're trying to get Devin Williams right. The guy's going to be a free agent in 2 months. You don't owe him a thing. Cashman traded for Jose Caballero, primarily a shortstop. For what reason? He traded for Ahmed Rosario, who hits lefties. For what reason? Today, I want to talk about some meltdown innings. Judge, Fried, and Volpe, the meltdowns in the second and third innings. Like, top of the second inning, Fried gives a 2-run lead. Or he gives 2 runs back ASAP after the Yankees scored 3. Kirk draws the leadoff walk. Fried's ahead 0-2. You've got good stuff. You got multiple fastballs with good numbers on them. Break, good velocity. The life is there on these pitches. That should always be your priority, to throw a 3-2 fastball in the zone before you try to make the perfect pitch and walk someone. Gives up a double to Clement because Judge's arm is not good. Falefa hits the RBI single. Sack fly to Luke because Judge's arm's not good. Top 4, they almost had another meltdown inning with the base runner on second base because Austin Wells makes that error throwing to first base. Didn't end up hurting them, but again, the sloppiness in the field is very bad. And then top 3rd, Toronto ties the game because of more sloppy infield play. You get 2 big doubles from Springer and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and in between, Anthony Volpe makes another E6 because he can't reach first base. Got a weak arm, and he's not charging the baseball. And I hate to keep coming back to Volpe, but he keeps getting everyday starting reps. And I just think it's wild. And people are starting to make jokes of this. The coach's kid. Listen. In no way, shape, or form is Caballero a starting caliber long term. for the remainder of this year, the 19 games you have left plus the postseason, yeah, he should be starting because he fields exceptionally well and he's hit for you. And even if he does stop hitting, he's always got the glove. He's always got the athleticism. Volpe doesn't have the glove. He doesn't have the arm to go with a bad bat. Anthony Volpe's first 68 games of the season, he carried a 769 OPS to mid-June. Since then, his last 71 games, he has a 557 OPS, a 212 on-base percentage. 71 games. This month, so in his last 5 games, he's 2 for 18 with a 0% walk rate and a 50% K rate. His approach is everywhere, and it's way too in between. He's stuck between trying to hit for power, but he's unable to pull the ball in the air consistently, and he also doesn't have the pop or the hit tool to be this opposite field Jeter type hitter like people want to believe. So if he tries to pull the ball, it'll cause him to chase more. But if he lets a pitch travel deeper in the zone to shoot it the other way, he'll just get beat and swing and miss. He doesn't have raw power, and he doesn't have elite discipline at the same time. So that yields high K rates. It yields low on base numbers. It yields a lot of weak contact and balls on the ground. So you combine the bad bat with how utterly atrocious he's been at shortstop, and he's really bad at shortstop. Wow. How is he still starting? The arm is an issue. You saw it again today. He's got issues charging baseballs. He doesn't charge. He's got issues going to his left. He's got issues with transfers. Metrically, he's horrendous out there. His fielding run, and this is entering today before the error, his fielding run value this year is -6. That's 13th percentile, meaning 87% of the league is better there. Outs above average, -8. 4th percentile, meaning 96% of the league is better there. His arm strength, 82 miles an hour arm strength, 35th percentile, so 65% of the league has a stronger arm. He's a shortstop, guys. He's got the second most errors in baseball, the second worst fielding percentage in baseball. The only reason Volpe starts every single day for 3 straight years, and it hasn't changed, is because he's a former top prospect, and it's all about optics for the Yankees. If Volpe was just some random, some nobody name, Jose Caballero would be the starting shortstop. But the Yankees want to play this weird game where it's all about politics. We're in September, you know? The Yankees have a golden opportunity to, catch up. They're down 2 games in the division with just 19 games remaining to jump their division rivals in the standings for first place. Every single day for the rest of the season that you throw Volpe out there, you're punting away an opportunity to have a better baseball team. And if the Yankees lose the American League East, and I think they will, then they proceed to lose the wild card round after that. I'm going to be looking back at something like this, the lack of urgency, not putting a better shortstop out there. That's a fireable offense to me. So it's the last negative thing I want to talk about before we wrap this one up. We will talk about Judge's health a little later, but that's concerning to me. And I didn't want to just gloss over that because they won 2 straight series here against good teams, but it's a problem. So I want to talk some good because we do have some good takeaways, and we'll talk more about that when we get back from our break here. Stay with us here on episode 898 of BD4.
Quick break here, guys. Stay connected with BD4 on social media. Follow us on Instagram and X at BD4Pod, and find us on Facebook by searching BD4. Don't miss out. Join the conversation. Want more BD4? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share with your fellow fans. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops.
Okay, So, welcome back to the show. Hey, all season long, most Yankee lefties have been raking. Ben Rice, Trent Grisham, Jazz Chisholm, even Jason Dominguez from the left side of the plate has been really good. But Ryan McMahon, lefty third baseman, was acquired at the deadline. He initially struggled out of the gate. Austin Wells, left-handed bat, catcher, has struggled for most of the season, right? The last couple of weeks here, both of those guys, McMahon and Wells, have come alive with the bat, which is massive because both of them have been great with the glove as is. But Ryan McMahon, in his last 9 games, entering today, he was 0 for 3 with 3 Ks today, but in his last 9 games, entering today, 321 batting average, 394 OBP, 643 slug, which means he had a 1037 OPS. 3 doubles, couple home runs, 4 walks, 7 RBIs. Noticing that he's not getting under the ball as much as he was before. So the slugging is coming around because of that. He's always hit the ball very hard. He's got good exit velo numbers. Inside this stadium, that's going to pay off. He's been seeing the ball better, being more selective. But with the Yankees overall, he's had such a good last couple of weeks, or last week and a half, that he's gotten to some respectable numbers with the Yankees. He's got a 341 OBP and a 103 OPS plus. Again, you add in his glove at third base, and he made some excellent plays this series. Excellent. He's the perfect number 8, number 9 hitter. If this kid can just hover around where he is, 320 on base, a 400 slug, 720 OPS, hover around there, that slash line with the increased power that he's going to get at Yankee Stadium, especially considering his glove work, that is big time value. So you do have to give Brian Cashman some credit. Cashman needs credit for getting this kid. Didn't give up a damn thing. Are you paying him more than you'd like to pay him? Maybe. I don't really care. It's the Yankees. Give him credit. Guys are coming off the books anyway. You have this kid who can play strong third base, better than a lot of third basemen in this league, and he's a major league bat. You have him for the next few years here. He's on a contract for, I think, 3 more. So give Cashman credit for that move. And Austin Wells, his last 12 games entering today, 297 average, 366 on base, 784 slug, and an 1150 OPS. 3 doubles, 5 homers, 4 walks, 7 RBIs. He's barreling the baseball again. He's using his opposite field power. Saw him use that wall in Houston a couple of times. He's being more selective at the plate, right, which has been a problem all year for him. The increased chase rate leading to a decreased walk rate, which leads to low walk and hit totals, which leads to low on base and batting average numbers. But he's been more selective recently. And I mentioned it last episode. We need to remember Austin Wells. Austin Wells is a catcher. Catchers are not supposed to hit. The league average slash for a catcher this year, 306 on base, 390 slug. That's a 696 OPS average for a catcher. Wells' slash line this year, yes, the 274 on base is putrid. 445 slug, 719 OPS. So altogether, that's enough offensive production with elite framing on a staff that throws a ton of balls, with good blocking too. At worst, that's a non-issue. If he can figure this out and just sustain this the rest of the way, that's not an issue. He's not a player you look at and be like, he's a freaking problem. No. So I think we need to remember that the Yankees already have elite depth in their lineup. You're talking about Judge, Stanton, Rice, Jazz, Grisham. Those guys are all 130 WRC plus weapons. All 5 of them. Did I miss somebody? I feel like I missed somebody. But you add that to Wells and McMahon, if they get going like they've been, it's a difference maker in these tight games down the stretch here. in the middle of a pennant race. Oh, I did. Bellinger. He's also been raking. He's been raking. So on top of that, 6 guys who have been elite bats. And you have Wells and McMahon doing just enough. That's a deep friggin' lineup. And speaking of Bellinger, let's tip our cap to him. We're going to tip our cap to him for the 6th time this year. He had a great series. First of all, his defense. Played some elite outfield this series. On Friday, he gunned down Clement at third base in the 8th inning. But yesterday, in a much more important or a much more tighter game, throws that 95-mile-an-hour one-hopper to get Bichette drilled at home plate in a 2-1 game to end the 6th inning there. You know, on the season, he's had a great arm, but he's also had the glove and the range that's helped him get to balls. All the defensive metrics on him have been top-notch, fantastic. And he was getting on base in this series too. He had 3 walks yesterday, 2 hits today, go-ahead double in the 3rd inning, 417 on base in the series, 625 on base in these last 2 games. Again, you like the at-bats because he puts the bat to the ball. He's got the power, but he's able to spoil pitches when he gets behind and counts. He'll sacrifice power for contact to just put the ball in play. That'll get a run in. It'll move guys over. Like we saw him move Judge to second base later in the game today. Just getting bat on ball. It increases pitch counts. It'll kill the morale of a pitcher. He does the little things that don't show up on the stat sheets when he's at the plate. So great series for Cody Bellinger. We tip our cap to him. Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge needs to start going ape shit against one of these tough teams. These big games, it is a little annoying not seeing him hit for power. Now, I'm not going to complain because Judge was getting on base all series. He was getting walked, and sometimes you can't do anything about that. But what I'm more concerned about with Aaron Judge right now is the way he looks. Not offensively. I think offensively, we all know he's elite. He's not making throws. He's like uninterested in throwing. And obviously that's planned. But when he does make throws, like you saw a couple of throws he made today, he's not really close with them. And he's getting tested. Like the Blue Jays were testing his arm. They were legging out doubles. They were running from second base on a base hit, tagging on a sac fly ball. You know, you saw Friday in the 1st inning. 3 times today he was taking advantage of. I worry about it. You know, I worry how that's going to affect October. Do you just shut him down and don't play him in right field until October? I don't know. Is he going to be able to sustain this, and will he be able to play right field in October? I don't know. I'm afraid that he's going to like air it out one time and then he tears some, and then we're talking Tommy John, right? Because right now the plan is obvious. Right now the plan is as soon as Judge fields that ball in right field, get that thing to Jazz ASAP. Jazz is going to try to use his arm to make that throw. But, you know, one throw that he airs it out, one little mistake could really do a lot of damage. And there's still a good chance that he has to get Tommy John surgery in the offseason, and he will miss some time. Now, he's a position player, so you don't miss as much time as a pitcher will. But I do worry a little bit about Aaron Judge's arm. That's the only thing that's a big deal because it affects, obviously, Stanton's playing time and it limits your flexibility as a lineup. But if he's unable to play right field this year at any type of athletic form, I don't know. I feel like that's going to be a weakness big time for the Yankee outfield. And we know their infield already has trouble fielding baseballs and throwing baseballs. A.K.A. Volpe. So we'll see. Other than that, great series. And this is really improving my confidence in them. But you're halfway through, right? You're halfway through this gauntlet schedule. You're 4-2 with 6 more to go before you finish off the season with a lighter schedule. You got a day off tomorrow. Good thing is you don't have to travel. You're still at Yankee Stadium for 3 games against Detroit. After that, you got 3 at Fenway against the Red Sox. We'll worry about that when we need to worry about that. Right now, day off tomorrow. Tuesday is Warren versus Casey Mize. Wednesday is Rodon versus Jack Flaherty. Thursday it's Schlittler versus probably Skubal. They haven't officially listed it yet, so we'll see. With that said, let's head to our final break, get back, and we will wrap this up with our trivia question in just a moment.
Love BD4 but don't have the time to sit down and watch? Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review. It helps us grow and keeps the conversation going. Want everything BD4 in one place? Head to our website at bd4blog.com. You'll find links to every podcast platform, social media, and even our blog, where we dive deeper into all things BD4. Check it out now and stay connected.
Okay. So, we are all finished up here. Let's wrap this one up with our trivia question here in episode 898. And our trivia question for this one, since we missed the Houston series, I'm going to do the trivia that we had planned for that series. Bobby Abreu debuted with the Astros in 1996. During which seasons did he suit up for the Yankees? All right. Bobby Abreu debuted for the Astros in 1996. During which season or which seasons did he suit up for the Yankees? Folks, that's all we got. I appreciate you all tuning in as always, and I will see you in the next show. Yanks take 2 out of 3 from Toronto, and let's go beat Detroit. Appreciate it, and I'll see you soon. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast, and I will see you in the next episode of BD4.